You kids are going to see the mind of a marketing magician and how it works. What's up, guys? This is Kenneth French, Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Hey, now, Sean Garner. How you doing there, Sean?
I'm good. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come on here today and connect with the audience.
And this is going to be good. As all our people who are listening, watching, generally speaking, are business owners, pretty well heeled. A lot of them own businesses. Some of them are real estate investors. Some of them are real estate agents. And generally speaking, they want to take their business to the next level. I guess we're going to do a little case study, maybe even using us here at vastsolutionsgroup.com. But first, tell me why you're such a stud. Why are you here? And then let's get to the specifics.
Yeah, I think one thing that kind of makes me and our marketing agency unique is I'm not just in practice with this. So this isn't just a bunch of thoughts where I read some marketing books, maybe watched some YouTube videos, but my wife and I, we actually own several local service-based businesses as well. So all of the things that we use are not just things I got to practice on with other clients, but I actually got to start with our own businesses, everything from, fitness industry, medical clinics, wellness, medical spas, to even some short-term real estate stuff that we do. And we leverage all of this marketing for that because I saw how frustrated I was to be really, really good at my craft, but to not have anybody want to do business with me solely because I wasn't good at the marketing aspect of it. And there's so many good service providers that are world class at what they do, but because their marketing doesn't necessarily reflect that, they're getting passed over and they're losing business to people that are just better at marketing than them.
Yeah, I'm gonna open myself up a little bit. I'll
Yeah.
be completely blunt. I was thinking I was too cool for marketing. I'm embarrassed to say that, but it's true. I didn't want to market our business. I figured business would come in based on referrals, etc.
Yeah.
Really, what's happened is one. I mean, you can't scale that way, by the way. But also, two, you're probably never going to be able to take real, truly exponential leaps without doing some sort of marketing, at using the internet. I would say, and plus, when people come to our website, you know they're probably just kind of looking at it. And my assumption was, oh, they're just going to say yes because of the referral. But also, what they're going to then do is look at social media. They're going to look at other kind of local service, I guess, area businesses that are competing and see if they like ours versus theirs. So I will fully admit I did everything wrong. So knowing that I've done everything wrong, I'm kind of excited to watch and listen to what you're going to say because you're going to help me and also some other business owners out there really, again, take their business to the next level.
Yeah, we're gonna dive into some stuff, and I'm excited to get to show everybody what we have found with a quick audit on your marketing stuff. But one thing, one thing I will say, because you brought it up, and this is the joke, like cheesy dad jokes I always say to my clients, is Field of Dreams was a great movie, but a horrible marketing strategy. So just because you build it doesn't mean that they are going to come. And
Yeah.
so whenever it comes to marketing, we have to realize, especially in this digital world, think about businesses, even like what you just mentioned with yourself. There's a lot of businesses, especially I would say in some of the higher end financial consulting type world and everything that say exactly that because we work with them now as clients. But in the digital world, people view your website as a first impression. And as a business owner, it should be seen as your digital storefront. So imagine this, you get referred to this about this world-class chef. And it's, oh man, referrals like crazy. This could be the greatest food. But in order to go there, you're going to go down this sketchy dark alleyway with broken doors and windows around it. But trust me, the food's good. Like you're going to be a little hesitant to really put your trust in that, even if it is a referral from your best friend. It's like, no, trust me, the food's going to be great, but it looks a little shady. In the digital world, we need to treat our website as that digital storefront and view it just like our in-person facility. So if it looks trashy, that's unfortunately the first impression that a lot of potential customers are going to have about you.
Yeah, our website's kind of it takes the place of storefront and takes the place of really a business card. I mean,
Yep.
yeah. So let's get right to it. Let's spend some time and don't know how long you have. Let's just figure it out and let's see if we can add some value to those people who are out there listening want to take their business to the next level.
Absolutely. So, what I would say for context here is our philosophy with marketing, it comes down to the whole premise of a sales funnel. And so, a lot of people have probably heard the term funnel or sales funnel. And for me, it is not a software, it is not a tool like ClickFunnels and services like Go High Level have made the term funnel very popular. But for me, it's not about having a specific software to execute on this, it is a relationship building framework. So, we talk about sales funnels and we're a digital marketing agency, so we're doing it in the digital world, but the same process can be applied to just in-person businesses. It's about taking somebody that doesn't know you exist, to becoming a super fan customer for life. And so, in order for us to help our clients do what we call marketing domination, there's three aspects of this sales funnel. So, as we're breaking down some of your marketing collateral, we're going to be looking at it in these three different phases. So, number one, in order to be successful and dominate with your marketing, you have to build a sales funnel. And now, a sales funnel comprises of several different things. Number one is your messaging. What is the words that you are using across all of your marketing collateral? The second thing is a website. We talked about it. That's your digital storefront. So what are people actually going and landing on? And are we using that clear messaging on the website? Third thing that it needs to have is a lead generator. We'll call it a transitional call to action. So not everybody that comes to your business or your website is going to be ready to book a call, buy now, schedule an appointment, whatever it is. So we need to have something to capture their information so then we can nurture them. Okay. Then after that, we're going to plug them into a sales email sequence. It could be a text messaging sequence, or it could be an in-person like sales team that's following up. But we want to follow up with those people so we can get them to book a call, buy our products and services. That's your sales funnel. Then after we build that, we want to fill that with organic content, search engine optimization, paid ads, all podcast episodes like this. And we want to fill that. So then we can go to the third step, which is automate. And now with the rise of AI and stuff, there's tons of things that we can automate, leverage AI, but then also optimize with data, because I'm a big believer that you make marketing decisions now, not based upon personal preference or emotion, but based upon data. There's so many data tools that are out there. It's not like, oh, I really like this color. Well, let's find out which color actually converts best for you. And then let's use that and make our decision. So that's kind of our overall framework that we use to evaluate marketing and then what we build for our clients. Does that kind of make sense?
I dig it. I dig it. Yeah, that's good. Nice work so far. Nice work, Sean. Oh, by the way, before I forget, how do people get a hold of you if they're interested?
Yeah, if you like anything that we're talking about today, a lot of the resources that we mentioned and everything, the best way to go find everything that we're talking about today is to go to seangarner.co/vast. So SEANGARNER.co/vast, VAST. And that's going to be specific to all the listeners on this show. We're going to have some special resources and everything for your listeners. So that's the best way to connect with us there.
Awesome. All right, let's get going. You tell me what you want.
Yeah. So let's look at this amazing company that I got connected with right here called Vast Solutions. So you very boldly let me dig into your stuff right here and said that I could give a quick audit on everything. So what I did is I did a quick review on everything,
There you go.
and I want to show you how outside looking in I look. You didn't give me any access to any back end data or analytics reports or anything. So this is just from what I can find on the outside looking in. So going back to the three different phases that we talked about, right? Build, fill, and optimize our sales funnel. The very first thing that we need to look at is our sales funnel. So the first aspect of our sales funnel is our messaging. We could dive into a whole slew of things about different messaging. From our agency, we leverage something called the story brand framework. I'm a story brand coach and guide. And so we use that 7-part story brand framework to tell a really clear story. But the most important thing that we want is when somebody lands on our header of our website, which is this first section right here, before they have to scroll, we need to quickly answer 3 questions, or we are losing potential customers if we don't answer these 3 questions quickly and clearly. Number 1, what do you do? Number 2, how do you make my life better? And number 3, what do I need to do to get it? So we have kind of a mantra within the story brand messaging community, and it says, if you confuse, you lose. So clarity always wins. So whenever we come right here to this website and we ask ourselves those 3 questions, what do you do? Well, I think you do okay with that. We do modern tax strategy for the modern entrepreneur. Where we could win with more clarity is that could look like a lot of different things. That could be done through courses, that could be done through consulting services, that could be done through a podcast, and it could be delivered in a lot of ways. So we want to be really, really clear on how we're doing it. And then how do we make our life better? You guys provide a lot of amazing solutions for customers, and you help change their life and make their life better. So we need to tell them how you're going to make their life better if they work with you. Because right now we just know we're going to get tax strategy, and then you guys do tax, finance, and AI, but we don't know this right here is a little bit better of a way to add some of that branding in there. Are you paying too much in taxes? So how you make their life better, we could easily improve this and pretty it up a little bit by saying, stop paying too much in taxes and keep more of the money that you've actually earned. That would be a much more compelling thing to pull me in. Then the other thing, and this is the big moneymaker thing, what do I have to do to buy it or to get started or to work with you? Without even scrolling, we are instantly hit with 4 different calls to actions to 4 different landing pages.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to be very clear and have one place that we want to send all of our people to, or at least the most important thing. When people come to a website, they read it typically in a Z pattern. So we want to have our logo typically here in the top left, looks awesome. But then right here in the top right, we want to have our main clear call to action, which is typically repeated right here in the center of the page, where I could be mistaken, but it seems as if what we really want people to do when they come to the website is to get an appointment for one of these strategy consulting services.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So if that's the main thing, we had to work really hard you're making people have to work really hard to give you money. So we want to
Okay.
make it we want to make it really, really easy so we can have right up here, schedule your consultation right there to make it really, really clear to answer those 3 questions.
Oh, look at Sean. Yeah, that's a
Good.
good point. I'm vibing with it. Yeah.
Okay. So that would be the first thing, as far as the messaging. The
Hmm.
next aspect of it
Oh, let me
would
ask.
be, yeah,
So
yeah.
what you're saying is, if I'm a real estate agent, I'm trying to think in those terms. I would have something up there that says contact me in blue or whatever in this case for an appointment to sell or buy your home, as an example. Sound right?
100%. So, real estate agents specifically, when we work with them, what we typically do is we want to have the main call to action we want. So we don't ever want to use things when it comes to call to action. You want to be direct. You don't want to be vague. So it's not like learn more, contact us. Nobody wants to do those things, but they want to list your home, buy your dream home. They want to have a very clear thing that they want to do, and that's what we want to say with all of those.
I'm vibing with you. Got
Good.
it.
All right, next, not everybody that comes to your website is going to be willing or ready to give you money. So we have to have something that's called a transitional call to action, or in the marketing speak, a lead generator. What's something that we can do to capture somebody's information so we can follow back up with them, provide them value, and showcase ourselves as the proper guide? I think that this is something that you guys actually have several of these on your website. And I would just recommend that we clarify it a little bit better on the main one that we want people to do, or we can have a page that we direct people to that is resources that showcases all of them. The other thing is right here, I think that this right here sounds really good. So there's a tax, and I'm assuming this is like a tax strategy guide. Are you paying too much in taxes? Grab our guide. Well, whenever I click on here, there's there's not really much information or anything at all to let me know, well, what are the benefits of this guide? What makes me want to download this guide? What are the things that we're going to be learning? What am I missing out on by not having
Right,
this stuff right
yeah.
here? So, for example, we could easily just change this up. For one, is I would make this landing page here maybe showcase the image of the guide, just the cover image of it, and have a really clear title on what the name of the guide is. And whenever we're coming with titles for lead generators and stuff like that, we don't want to be clickbaity. What we want to do is we want to have a clear, catchy title. We want to be able to deliver on the promise. And whenever we want to position ourselves as the guide for this. As we're doing this, we want to give them a quick win, or we want to give them the first step in the process. So using the real estate example, it could be something like 10 reasons why you need to buy your next home in Dallas. 5
Mm-hmm.
mistakes most new home buyers are making and how to avoid them. It's something like that that qualifies your audience, positions yourself as a guide, gives them a quick win or the next step in the process. So right here, any type of lead generator like this, we at least need to have the title of the thing. So we could easily take what I assume that this guide is about, and we could change that into the modern entrepreneur's tax survival guide. Tax secrets your CPA probably isn't telling you. The entrepreneur's tax savings blueprint, something that instantly perks me up, helps you to identify and qualify your audience a little bit more and makes people want to download it. Because
Yeah.
right now, they're only going to probably download it if you've pre sold them because they're listening to the podcast, you had a consultation, you're going to say, hey, go to the website, get our guide on tax and strategy. We're going to talk about why you're paying too much in taxes. Does that make sense?
100%. Yeah, 100%. You're 1,000% right. What's funny is because we get, I don't know, Uber suggests and all those, and they always criticize the fact that we don't have enough wording on some of our pages, just like the one you're talking about. So I hear exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Because what you have to realize, especially on a page like this how this it works from a technical standpoint is this is in an embedded form, or even if it's not an embedded and it's just natively built into whatever website builder that your web developer is using. Google reads this page as nothing because this right here is an image and then this right here is a code block. So there's no words on this website. So when Google looks at a website, this is how you can kind of get a different perspective on your own website is just go to your page and just hit right click on it, hit select all, and then paste it all in a Google Doc.
Mhm.
That's how Google's looking at your page.
Yeah, yeah.
And
You're
so
right.
when you look at the words and stuff, that really helps. So the other thing, looking at the website is again, because you guys have done such amazing work and everything, the other big thing that is key for anybody's website and sales funnel to include is success stories, customer reviews, testimonials, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
But especially in an industry that is relying heavily on trust and referrals, we want to make sure that we're talking about the specific results that you are getting people, not just general feel goody things. So, what I always tell clients is we don't want our testimonials to say, oh, Sean was really nice. We want it to say, oh, Sean helped 10x my website traffic. Once I started working with him, now I'm ranking at the top spot of Google for my keywords. I'm ranking for. We want the specific results. They helped me save 25% on my taxes year over year. Like whatever the specific result you got them, that's what we want. And now, if you've ever asked clients for testimonials, you get one of two things. One, you get they're really nice. You should hire them. Or two, you get
Yeah,
like this awkward like paragraph thing. So this would be like a pro tip for anybody if you want better testimonials, help them out by writing it for them. So this is
yeah.
what I would say if I was working. Like, hey, remember how we did that website audit for you? And then afterwards, you had so much clarity on the things that you knew that you needed to do and the next step you needed to take in your marketing so you could get better results. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. Can I say that on my website? And so you can tell them the thing that you're wanting to focus on. Because people would, if you've ever had to like write letters of recommendation or referrals, nobody wants to do that. But if you write
Mhm.
it for them, like, oh yeah, yeah, you can say that. They're going to do it. That's how you're going to get better
Makes it easier. Yeah.
testimonials on the website and everything. So
Cool.
that would be kind of my first draft look at just step one, which would be building the sales funnel and fixing some of the copy setups and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Any questions on that so far before we keep going?
Impressed. I'm vibing with you. That makes a lot of sense what you're saying. I mean,
Okay.
in a big way.
Yeah. All right. So then the next thing that we have to look at is kind of some more of the technical things. And this is one of the things to where a lot of people won't understand how important this is until they work with an agency like ours that specializes in SEO and search engine optimization. So there's a lot of little things that you have to look at from a site structure. So you can have, let's relate it to a house. You can have a beautiful home and it looks awesome on the outside, but whenever you get inside, it's just a movie set. The walls are fake, like they're easy to knock over. The furniture is just, like inflatable with sheets over it. And so we want to make sure that everything is structured for something that's called the UX or user experience. So whenever people are on our website, it makes it really, really easy for them to navigate. So
Mm.
one common miss that I always say that I see on a lot of websites, but it's also just a default user behavior is the logo should always link back to the homepage. So imagine whenever you're on a website and you're on the about page and I want to go back home, well, typically on a website, you click on the logo and it takes you back to the homepage. But the logo image here isn't clickable. And so I would link
Exactly.
that back to the homepage.
That we knew, by the way. I should also throw out, and I'm sure this is probably going to be the case with a lot of your people, but we just did some changes to it. I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago because we are doing a launch here pretty soon. Anyway, and that's one of the things that they're correcting because that's a huge
Perfect.
deal. And
Yes.
I absolutely despise that when you can't go to the homepage when you wanted to go to the landing page for a very specific reason, especially when they are saying go to the homepage because that's your main page. I totally hear it. Also, there where you are right now, want free AI driven bookkeeping. That's going to be our kind of funnel going forward. So, and the way there's a reason, there's a reason the way it is, but it's going to be more prominent on our page, and that's going to be kind of the beginning of the funnel. But anyway, your point is
Perfect.
great, really good actually for people who are now, whatever, trying to build out their website, who are real estate investors, real estate agents. But anyway, this is awesome.
Yeah. And then, so then the other thing, because I know that this is a work in progress, but these are just those little detail cleanup things to check is currently because this is live, but it's not working. So when you
What?
click on, yeah, so on that
Oh,
pop up, when you click on that link, it doesn't do anything.
it actually leads back there. Yeah, I get you there.
So again, so I always relate websites to a storefront location because when you do that to people, like it just helps them think of stuff. In the eyes of Google, and once I get into the SEO stuff, this will kind of start flowing and making sense a little bit more. Google has zero context to how legitimate anybody's business really is. You could have a business to where you've been a real estate agent. This actually just happened with us. We had a real estate agent. She's been in the area for 30 years. Number one Keller Williams agent in the whole region and everything. Had never done one thing in the digital world before. So whenever we start to doing SEO and building her website, she's like, well, how come we're not outranking these other people? I've been in business way longer than this agent. She's only been in there for 1 year. I was like, yes, but in the eyes of Google, your business, your URL is brand new. Hers has been on for several years, starting to collect links and traffic and stuff like that. So in Google's mind, they're trying to develop the best resource or the best result for a search query. So if somebody's looking for top real estate agent near me or top tax strategist near me, and your website URL is brand new, they don't know how long you've been in business because you have to think about it from Google's perspective. What's to prevent the bad people from just spinning up a website and now all of a sudden they want to be number one? And so there's tons of ranking factors that Google uses to determine that. And one of them is broken links. So if people are coming to your website, imagine going back to the alleyway restaurant referral and you're going there and there's a bunch of broken doors and windows in the restaurant. Well, that's going to look pretty sketchy. It's the same thing Google looks at on your website. If there's a bunch of links that aren't working, that's like Google's equivalent to, well, you got a broken front door and it's not working. So
Yeah,
that's
by the
one
way,
thing.
that's supposed to lead to vastbookie.ai, but it's after the fact. But yeah, that's been about a week old. But anyway, it's going to be updated. But I'm glad you found that. That means you're actually doing your work, and Sean, that you know what's going on.
Yeah, thanks. Okay. So then the next thing that we need to look at for the site structure, and this is kind of has to do more of a sales perspective. So one is we want to keep our most prominent calls to action at the top, and we don't want to give the potential customer way too many things to get confused and distracted for. So typically, this is more of a preference based upon best practices for conversions that we've seen. If your website's goal is to get bookings, get sales, and make you money, well, we want to have all of this stuff or most of this stuff down to the footer of the website. So typically what we recommend on the top part of the website, or this is called your header bar, we want to have the main call to action in the top right, and then maybe like a services page, or for you, since the podcast is so popular, the podcast on here as well. But some of these other things like the FAQ, portal, about us, we could link those down here in the footer to save this valuable real estate right here from distracting people and just draw our eyes to the main money making things we want customers to do.
I'm with you. Yep.
Other thing, and this is where you kind of start getting into like detailed preferential stuff. So because your podcast is so successful and you're driving lots of people here, let's go back kind of some of the user experience stuff that we had talked about to where how it's currently set up now. When you click on an individual post, we lose that header and the footer. So it almost takes it to a completely different site.
Oh,
So it's difficult to navigate back. So once I've clicked on an actual post, I can't go back.
no
I have to
way.
actually hit
We have
back.
to hit back. Oh, wow. Okay.
So that happens on both the blog and the podcast page. So again, because we're driving a lot of traffic with the podcast, we want to make sure when people come, they're having a really good user experience for it.
That's a good one. You caught. Yeah, I don't. That's good. Okay, I gotcha.
Okay. So that's what we got there. So that's a quick version over this. The next thing I want to get into, and listen, I'm not trying to beat anything up
No,
here.
I got it. It's good.
I'm just going through it, and this is just quick audit stuff because it would be like if I handed you a P&L statement, you could probably
Mm.
rip it up and be like, oh, well, this is why, you're paying way too, you're doing this, what? And the same thing, like we keep using real estate agents and stuff. If I had my house listed, it's somebody that knows the market and does this for a living, they're going to, oh, this is how you should price it. This is how you need to stage it. They're just going to know this because they do it for a living. This
Yeah.
is the same way with me.
This is good because
Um,
it helps people see, if you could think on your toes and you know exactly what's going on, think on your feet, you know exactly what's going on. Because that's really what this is about. Hopefully, and you're not paying me, I'm not paying you. I'm trying to add value to the people who are out there, small business owners. And if they see that you can add value to us, maybe you can add value to them, and you can, who knows, make them into the next Google or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so we've built so imagine cleaning all this stuff up. So we got much more clear brand messaging on the website. It's organized in a more efficient way to hopefully capture more leads and sales with good, catchy transitional calls to action with those lead generators. The site structure and UX and everything is good. Now we've got a good, solid structure. So now we can start focusing on filling the funnel, because right now we wouldn't want to spend too much money on paid ads and paid traffic if we have a bucket that's got a bunch of holes in it, because we're going to be sending people to a funnel or a bucket that they're just going to leak right out to the side. So once we build a solid bucket, that's when we can really start looking at things like filling it. So only two ways you can send people to your website: organic, which means they just come on their own, or you pay them to get there because you're doing paid ads. That's it. And so when it comes to this, we personally like to start with organic, because the analogy I always give to people is oftentimes what I have found whenever it comes to paid ads, people are paying for something they could get for free if they would just do some basic optimization on their website. And so I think a lot of times people think that paid ads is going to be a money-making secret, and that's the thing that's holding them back. It could be, but if it's not going to convert well organically, paying ads just going to dump more money into something that's not working. And so the other thing, by optimizing your site organically first, it will lower ad costs, because one, you could start showing up in organic rankings anyway, and you don't have to pay for something you get for free. Okay. So knowing that, this is a free tool. It's called Detailed SEO. This is a plugin that you can get that I use just for quick audits and everything on my on like website audits and stuff like this. And whenever you click on that, it's going to show you some valuable information about the website and about the web page, so you can see some things that Google wants to see. So you've probably heard, like, if you ever go to Google and you type in, top tax accountant near me, or top real estate agent near me, whenever you go to Google, that first little title that you see on the different search engine results, that is called your site title. And then the description that has underneath it is called your meta description. Those things are very, very important in the eyes of Google, because that helps them know what your website's about. Here's a quick thing. If you don't know what those things are, now you do, but you can typically edit these inside of any website builder, to where you can go into what's called your site title and meta description and fill those out. This is how they should be filled out. Your site title should be 60 characters or less, and include your main keyword that you're trying to rank for. And your site meta description should be 160 characters or less, and include that keyword again and different variations of it, and written in a way that makes people want to click. Because even though Google reads that stuff, we're still talking and selling to humans. So we want to make sure whenever they read this, that they actually want to click. And if it's too long, if it's over 160 characters, Google turncoats it. So you're just going to see like ... after it, and you're not going to be able to see the full description anyway. So we want to keep it short and punchy. That's really important. And I will tell you, I can't tell you how many website audits that we do like this, and somebody's like, oh yeah, we're doing SEO, and they don't even have that stuff done. That's a quick thing where I can tell you, like, go to your SEO agency and demand all your money back, because they're not even doing it.
I know our meta, no, one of our titles as an example says 500. I know there's two mistakes on ours, and they're
Yeah.
supposedly going to fix it. But anyway, that's a whole nother issue.
So that is your site title and meta description, which, looking through yours, you had a few that were a little too long, but it's not horrible, because you had everything that I saw. I at least saw them filled out. This is where you have a huge area of opportunity, and most people that have their websites designed by website designers and not people that understand SEO have this huge mistake made, which it's very, very, very common, and not understanding something that's called heading structures. So whenever you are building a website, and you can see this even if you use like a Google Doc or something like that, and you can select like, oh, is this an H1 or is this an H2? And it changes the size of the heading.
Right.
That a website designer thinks that makes a visual change. but somebody that knows SEO as well understands that that is a site structure change in the eyes of Google. And so whenever you are building your website, you want that main keyword that you're trying to rank for or have people find you to be in your H1, and you only want one H1 per page. If you think about an H1 as the front door to your business and you have multiple front doors, well, how does anybody know which one they need to be walking into? Because they might walk in one and it leads into the bathroom stall. They walk into another one and it leads into the kitchen. Like, we need to know exactly what the main thing is on the website.
Yeah. I
On
get,
this website, on our homepage, if we go to the heading structure right here, we currently on the homepage have 38 H1 headings on the page.
oh, are you serious? So it's way messed up.
Yes, it's way messed up. And most of the things that were H1s is like, you can see like tax, finance, and AI is one,
What are
tax
you, wait a minute,
and,
what are you looking at? We can't see it. You're
oh, you
referring
can't
to,
see my whole thing. I'm so sorry. Let me share my whole screen. For some reason, it wasn't showing that pop up here. Okay, there we go. So this is the plugin. Sorry, I didn't realize it wasn't popping up. This plugin right here is called the Detailed SEO Chrome extension, and so it's free plugin. Anybody can download. You can look at your own website. But whenever you click on this, and then I can navigate to the headings tab, and then just scroll to the bottom, it shows you got on this homepage 38 H1 headings. And so you can see like some of them are like events. And because what happened is whoever was the website designer was probably just using it to change font sizes and didn't
yeah,
realize that it helped the overall, that it was impacting the overall site structure.
yeah,
And so that is a very common thing, because website designers, they just want to make it look really, really pretty, and they don't understand how that affects SEO. And you can look at this, and it was happening honestly on every single one of the pages. Like the services page, we have 31 H1s. And so what you would want to do is you would want your H1 to be at the top of your page, and then it has a hierarchy underneath
you're
that.
right.
So
You're right. I know
all the
exactly.
H2s underneath that, H3s, and so on and so forth. So you could have multiple H2s and H3s, but you just want it to have just like a nesting thing. Think about it like a glossary to or an index for a book or something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. I know. I know why there were some mess ups, but I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
And so that would be that's honestly one of the biggest web page SEO mistakes that I see is businesses, they don't have their SEO title or the meta description done, and then they've got their heading structure all goofy because they've made it look pretty, but they don't understand how that affects and impacts their SEO.
Totally get it. Yeah. Yeah.
So after we have all that, we've cleaned up the website, right? Now we've done some things to where we can start ranking on Google and making sure that our website is in a way that Google likes it. Then we didn't even get into the last part of all this where it talks about then how do we look at optimizing this stuff. So then that's where we didn't get any access to the back end of your data and stuff, but that's where I would want to start looking at things like click-through rates, how impressions that you're currently showing up on Google, the opt-in rates. So whenever people are coming to your website, how many people are actually downloading your lead generator? From that, how many people are going through the sales cycle and then booking a call? Out of those people, how many are following up? And so those are things that you want to start looking at for your optimization aspect of everything that you do.
Yeah. Let me explain a little bit. So remember, we're AI. We've been doing AI since really 2018, and even before then. So we were trying to optimize everything. And just like you say, you got to, I think basically what you're saying is you have to walk before you can run. And we were running because we cared about AEO, LLM
Yep.
optimization, trying to get clicks from Claude, if you will, et cetera. Our back end is it's really built out for AEO. And AEO isn't cool yet, but it's gonna be, and it's not built out for SEO. And we've complicated it. And I'm sure SEO, like before, I think it was 88% of or Google, whatever it was, clicked, or of ad clicks are based on Google or whatever, but now it's going down because now AEO's out there. What I mean by AEO, Ask Engine Optimization, or LLM optimization. So we were thinking, okay, we're not big with SEO. We just started with SEO, if you not SEO, sorry, with, if you will, marketing, getting our name out there.
Yeah.
So we wanted to be first years ago with AEO. So we're like, hey, get everything behind the scenes that an LLM, if you will, now LLM would find versus the SEO. So, because we wanted, if you will, 100% of the AEO, because we knew we weren't going to get very much of the SEO or the traditional marketing, if you will. So, what you're saying actually totally hits home because really we should have, if now looking back based on what you're saying, because this is very good, we should have been trying to kind of do both. There's not that much more to have done, SEO with Google as an example, optimize that. And then if as those numbers go down with Google, the numbers with AEO will go up, but we were neglecting the bigger market. And it's really cost us time because I think it takes a long time to really get things going with the SEO. Probably what, 6 months at a minimum, really, if you really think of it. And we were kind of negating that. And that's cost us basically is time.
Yeah, and I think that from what I've seen with the types of industries and stuff that we're working with, typically professional services like, real estate agents, medical spas, attorneys, accounting firms, and stuff like that, what we have seen is that it almost doesn't go back, but it can go forward. So if it's SEO optimized,
Hmm.
it's easier to just do some more back end content for the AEOs versus just creating the content for the LLMs to pull from and not having the SEO optimized on some of just like for Google to show up and everything as well.
I know what you're saying about that. And we have so much on the back end that, I mean, we have volumes. Very few companies would have anything close to what we have as far as the back end for LLMs to find. But again, that's a small nascent market. You know what I mean? It's a really small market. I think we're going to be in good shape in that. Usually, if you look at Claude, you'll find us. If you look at whatever, all those cool things, you'll find us. But it's a big market we're missing. And again, it's cost of time because we haven't done them both at the same time.
Yeah. But one thing that you're doing awesome that I recommend everybody to do, I think one of the best. So in order to grow on SEO and even now with the AEO is it needs content because now with the rise of AI, there's tons of people that are just spinning out content that isn't generic or unique to them. I think, and this is what I believe is the best content medium that you can do right now and still leverage AI is video podcast
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
because not only whatever you think about this, you're taking, 30, 45 minutes to create an episode. One, you're connecting with people. You're
Mhm.
going to get to most likely you're going to get a backlink to each other's website. So it's going to
Yeah.
help with that link profile. The other thing that you're going to do is you're going to get a long form YouTube video that you can take that and you can embed that in your blog post on your website, which helps with SEO. The other thing that you can do is you can take that transcript and you can spin that out and you can create a blog post because I think what most people do is they'll go to something like ChatGPT and like create a blog post over, home buyer tips for, 2025 and it's just going to create generic stuff. But if you had a video podcast where you've been talking about that topic for 30, 45 minutes, and then you say, take the information, the context from this transcript of when I talked about this topic, and then create a blog post using the keywords I'm trying to rank for and everything, it's going to get much more unique content to you. So it's actually going to rank and it's not just going to be junk that Chat GPT or something is spinning up. And it's going to be your
Yeah.
unique perspective. Then, and this is the only thing that I think that you could do to help yourself out more with this, because it's not any extra work. Take your podcast transcript and add the full transcript on there. So not only do you get the blog post and everything and like some show notes, but you could put the whole transcript on there. And that's just even more content for not only Google, but the LLMs and stuff to pull that transcript from to, again, get these answers and stuff to show up.
Yeah, that's a good point, and we have not done that. I remember one point, that's actually initially why I wanted to start the podcast, because I wanted to, because how on podcasts, people have a little tiny bit about their episode and that's it. And I
Yeah.
remember talking to my staff saying, "Hey, just like what you were saying, have the full on thing. We'll have a guide and then full on transcript, so you get kind of both."
Yep.
Um, for whatever reason, we haven't gone down that path, but I'm glad you're bringing that up. Again, you're adding value, but because it makes a lot of sense. Because then if people are looking for, even though we're a bad example, Bainbridge Island, where I live, people are gonna find us easier because there's content out there about Bainbridge Island because no one's doing marketing on Bainbridge Island. And that's a very good idea because the more data that's out there, the better it is for us as a business owner, entrepreneur, et cetera.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. So, all right. So real quickly, why don't we maybe take 3 minutes about, even though it sounds like bringing in ads for us doesn't make sense because of the leaking bucket, if you will. But what about some real estate agents who want to buy ads? Why don't we talk about that just really quickly? What are your thoughts on buying ads? Let's just say, as an example, I don't have any leaky buckets, if you
Yeah.
will, and now I want to buy ads.
Yeah, I think the best return on your investment for ads for real estate agents specifically is something that's called LSA, or local service ads, whenever it comes to Google. So whenever you have ads, the most common things that people know of is Meta ads, which is going to be Facebook or Instagram,
Mm.
Google ads, which is called PPC, or paid per click, or YouTube video ads and stuff. But the third one, which only a few people know about, but is, to me, the almost the hidden secret in the paid ad world, is LSA ads, or local service ads. Now, with these, they're only eligible for specific industries. So it's professional local services, which is who we happen to work with. So it's going to be real estate agents, accounting firms, medical spas. Typically, there's a professional licensure or certification that's attached to it, because what this ad does is you only pay when you get an actual lead. So whenever you have things like Meta ads and pay per click ads on Google, you're paying for the impression. Every time Google or Meta is showing that ad to somebody, you have to pay. With an LSA ad, even if your ad shows up, you only pay if that potential customer clicks on call you or send you a message, because on those LSA ads, there's two calls to action. They can either call or message, and then it's going to call your phone directly. Google tracks all of that stuff. So you're paying a higher cost per lead, but it's a much higher quality of lead, because how it also works is it's attached to your service area. So if you're a real estate agent in, Dallas, Texas, you select what service area and neighborhoods that you work with. And if somebody is looking for a real estate agent in that area, they have to be in that area in order for the ad to actually show up to them. So you're not just spending money showing your ad to anybody. It's very hot leads that are looking for the service in your area. And then Google actually has this other thing that's pretty cool, is you could even dispute some of them. So if you're getting a bunch of spam calls or people that are out of your area, you can actually go in the back end and dispute it, and Google will refund that ad, or that cost for you as well.
And so let's say I'm a real estate agent, et cetera. Do you consult with LSA? Meaning, can I go to you to get help on LSA stuff?
Yeah, we that's part of what we do for marketing domination. Is not only do we build the funnel, but we work on filling the funnel and optimizing. And part of filling the funnel is not only just the organic SEO content, like what we've been talking about, but also doing that paid ad approach with things like LSA ads, and getting them set up for that.
So let's just say I wanted to go to you as an example. I don't even know. Let's say I want to spend, I'm making this number up because I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's say I want to spend $1,000 on LSA ads per month. I don't even know
Mhm.
if that's a possibility. But how much would I, in general, pay you for such a service to help out in that regard?
Yeah, so we have different packages, and with that, I mean, it's either 1,000 a month, 1,500 a month, or 2,500 a month, and those are the different SEO retainer packages that we have, and in each one of those is included LSA ad management. And so, not only are we going to be writing content for the website and doing all of the other things to help with organic SEO, and all those packages, honestly, the differences between them is the amount of content that you add. Because in order to grow on Google, you have to be adding new, fresh content on a consistent, regular basis. And so, the bigger the package, the more we're adding, the quicker you're going to grow. But all of those have that built into it. But what I will tell you is LSA ad costs themselves are very, very different per market and per industry. So even a real estate agent in Dallas is going to be a lot different cost for a real estate agent in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where I happen to be located, because it's based upon demand.
Which makes sense. So I got to, and you could do business or consult with me in any state in the union. Is that accurate?
Oh yeah, we service all 50 states.
All right. So real quick, what's one thing we haven't talked about that you think can add value to me, to a business owner, et cetera, that we have not already talked about?
I think the one last thing that I would say is you need to have a system to collect and manage all of these leads. So you need to have some type of CRM or sales pipeline, because it doesn't matter how, imagine you have the perfect website, the perfect sales funnel, they're downloading the lead generator, but that customer data is not being collected into something that you own. You're leaving a ton of money on the table. I work with also people that have very large social media followings, so big influencers in different industries and stuff, and they're super reliant on their social platforms, but they don't realize that at any time those things can get throttled with engagement, or they can even, I've seen people with millions of followers overnight get their account hacked, and now they've
Yeah.
lost everything. And so you want to own your customers' data. You want everybody's email, phone number, and name, and address. The more contact points you have, the more valuable that list is. Because I have seen lots of poor people that have massive social media followings, but I have not seen any poor people that have massive customer databases that they actually own. And they didn't just go out and buy the list, but they did the right work and they built out the sales funnel. So they were organically collecting, or even with paid ads, but people had opted into the things that they had. Those people will always have money.
Yeah, yeah, that's really smart, man. You've added some value. You really have. Once again, how do we get a hold of you?
Yeah, best way is just go to the website, seangarner.co/vast. So SEANGARNER.co/VAST. We're going to have all the resources, links to additional guides, checklists, and frameworks. And I'm going to be specific about the things that we talked about today, just for your audience.
This has been awesome. I really appreciate you being here, you spending the time. All the audience, thank you so much. Once again, this is Ken French, Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Thanks, everybody.